Hello, it's been a minute since I've actually done a video. I'm doing my makeup for work. I normally don't wear makeup, but I wear makeup for work. But I'm so tired. It's almost over. Halloween is almost over. I just have like 2 more weeks of this. Tired of fucking hearing 6-7. Anyways, I don't know. I'm doing my makeup and talking about my career goals. Now I am studying, what is my major? I don't even know my major right now. My major is supply chain and operation management. It's just because of my experience in operation and like I work in a theme park and in entertainment, and so I just feel like my career option makes sense for me to do supply chain and management, operation management. How am I going about my career? I'm just using facial mist to hydrate my face. But I'm not trying to be like a manager or anything. I just know safety operation, and I know just like a procedure, and I know about with my training, I know about how to manage and operate safely, and I have training in crowd management, and so just with working with Norwegian and everything. With training with Norwegian, because I am going to eventually be working with Pride of America, and I'm using the Elf Halo Glow powder filter press to set my prosthetic and my makeup, but I just it just makes sense for me to do that. I was going to go in for communications, but I don't think communications is a set career path for me. I feel like communications is more of a online thing, like if I wanted to take content creation seriously, and I really don't want to take content creation seriously, just because like I know with social media is not a reliable source of income, and so like I just rather do this as like a side thing more so, because granted, I don't want to overstress myself, because I feel like I'm stressing myself right now with like why am I not growing? Like what can I do more to be more in my, I guess, niche particularly? Like I don't have a particular niche per se, because again, I wanted, when I wanted to do YouTube, I always wanted to just make videos about, what's going on currently about my life and whatsoever. And yes, this is not the right foundation match. It's not about matching my foundation. My skin tone is just more so setting my stage makeup, because like, of course, my stage makeup isn't my skin tone. But I like to have a base of thing. So, but what's helping me, what I want to do is just like with my growth in my career, is that I just want to be able to, like, especially with what I'm doing, I want to be able to be a good manager or supervisor and manager. I'm not trying to, just because I know people or things like that, I want to be able to provide in based off that my education can help with my training type thing, because like the last thing I want to do is not do what I'm doing and what I'm learning. Is it going to affect my career? Because I don't want to I feel like I wasted a long time in college, just because it was a hard time for me to figure out what I wanted to do. And because like I have a lot of things, like my original plan, right after high school, I thought I wanted to do music and have a career in music, but I fell out of love of music because I've been trying to fight my entire life of like with favoritism, and just I didn't want to go through all that headache and stress and anxiety that I've already dealt with favoritism and having to prove that I was good, even though like I am good at what I'm doing. I didn't want to be able to scoop the love of trying to kiss somebody's ass to prove my talents. And I didn't want to do that in my career, And so I kind of just more so wanted a more driven in financial stability, because the last thing I want to do is when I become a mother is ask money with my children. Like I want to, for my children, I want to be able to have like whatever they have, like with their money and whatever is their money. I don't want to take anything that what they worked hard for, And I don't want to have to feel like they have to help me because I gave birth to them. I want to be able to break that cycle where they're not willing, granted, if they'd be like, Mom, here's $20, whatever, I'd be like, no, sweetie, like, you don't need to help. Like, whatever financial situation I'm going through, I want to be able to get it out myself. Like, I don't want to feel like my child is obligated to help me, because they have money. Like, no, your money is your money. My problem is my problem. Like, you don't need to feel bad at what I'm going through. Like, yeah, it can affect you, but I don't want you to be stressed out because, it's what I'm going through. It's adult problem. Like, you as a kid, you should be able to handle your own problems. You shouldn't be able to handle mommy's problems on top of your problems, right? And so, like, I just want to be that. And so I'm just, it's a hard kind of thing, career it's a interesting type thing, and I feel like I'm stuck in a way, not in my own way. Like, I know there's a lot of other competitive like aspect when coming with work and stuff like that. Not necessarily like, oh, well, you have to have years of experience, blah, 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 blah. My thing is with me, like, I'm not in no rush because I know I have a lifetime ahead of me too. Like, I don't need a particular deadline. Like, I don't need to have a kid by 30, blah, 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 and like that. That is not my thing. Because right now my thing is being financially, well, not even financially. My thing is more so having a goal towards my career so I can be financially stable for my future, And I'm not in no rush for it because, like, anything could possibly change. But, right now, it's just that I feel like I finally found the program that I want to do, and I feel like it makes sense for me to do it because of how much I've worked and I found what I like to do. But it's just, it was just a lot of trying to get there to work towards what I want to go into, right? And because of, like, with maturity and things like that happens, that was just a time of growth for me to figure out what makes me happy instead of what is going to contribute to other people, and what they think is good for me is what I want to do more so, right? And so it took a lot of time, and then COVID happened. I was 21, and so it was a lot of just turnarounds in my life more so, but it gave me a better sense of direction in what I need to focus on, because it helped me really in the sense of, okay, well, I have all these things, I lost a lot of friends and everything. And, in a sense, like, yeah, I was kind of heartbroken in a way, but it made me realize the more time I want to spend by myself, it made me realize what I need to really focus on and is what would make me best for my future. And my future is, trying to find what I love to do, because what I originally loved to do, I fell out of love of. So it was just more of building a stronger foundation for me and succeeding in the type of environment for myself, and where I can help with others, not to overstep or anything, but it's just more so like, hey, I learned this technique in my studies, maybe we could work in a sense of, how to better control the environment, in a sense of blah, 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 in operation systems, or in crowd control management in the case of a fight or something like that, But in the sense of where I worked at made me a sense of like, people are fucking crazy. Fucking ridiculous, man. I I don't know how I was capable of doing what I'm doing and still what I'm doing, but it's all of just like, I'm the type of person when it comes, like, I stay to myself and I stay to who I am, like, you know, because when I was younger, can I not put an earring in my ear? Because what the fuck? I know I can. This is the one I had since I was a baby. But I'm a type of person where, I'm quiet, but it's like I know how to do my job. Like, once I get into a routine and, I've been doing something, because what I'm doing, I've been doing it for a very long time. But you have some of those people that feel like they could say whatever, and they have authority figure or whatever, and they could feel like they could say whatever to you and whatnot. Because I'm a very, in my environment, I'm very a sarcastic person, and so I like to, be expressive in a way, but still be like, I don't know how to really explain it, but like, I guess sarcastic, because like, with entertainment in general as a whole, you have to have like a dark sense of humor to make it in, with everything that's going on. Because like, if you can't have like a little bit of fun in what you're doing, then you're not going to really make it far, and there's going to be problems and issues and things like that. I feel like I'm only around people that understands what I'm trying to put down. I'm not one to do the most. I'm more so I only do the most because like I am an empath, and when I am working a lot with a lot of people, I become sensitive to energy, and it makes me overwhelmed a lot. And like, not in a bad way, but like, especially because I'm lifeguard trained now, I'm just more cautiously, like when I know somebody, even like before, I would be like, hey, you don't look okay. But now especially, I'm like, hey, you're definitely not okay. It's a difference of like that, you you work with a lot of older people as well, and then a lot of younger people as well, so it's like a good diverse of everything. But it's like as well too, you have, I'm not a work snitch. Not a work snitch. I'm very a play fair type person. I grew up old school, and I grew up with, you have to respect your elders and stuff. But now I'm just like, hey, just because you're old, you still have to respect me as a person. I can come across as headstrong sometimes, or like I'm trying to take somebody's job or whatever, but that's not the case whatsoever. Like, I'm very approachable. But it's just like my energy protects me. And so that's why I can be standoffish sometimes. But it's just like, if I'm not catching a vibe or catching energy from you, I'm with the 10-foot pole. So it's just like that. I don't know what else to do anymore because my makeup is done. But it's just really like that. And the thing is, like, I don't know if I want to even, like, start my own business or anything on the side. Like, I feel like I want to, but it's more so, I don't know. Like, I don't even think, like, I would be a coach or anything like that. I would just more so be, I don't know, an event planner or something in that sense. I don't know. You know, I've always loved events. I've been a host before. I've hosted events before. So everything just makes sense now to be like, okay, so operations it is. But it's just like, I have a lot of like thing because I also worked in restaurants before. I worked in food and beverage before. And so I didn't work at McDonald's or anything. But it's just like, I don't know. I try to be respectful where respect is giving. You know, in the situation that I am now, I'm just like, hey, I don't know if this is right. You know, if I'm in wrong, I could be wrong. But, you know, it was just what I said was a joke. And so, like, it didn't need to be said of what I need to do, you know, because it wasn't even supposed to be that serious. It was a conversation about how tired I was, you know. And I didn't need an input from somebody, you know, like that. So I'm just like not like in a bad situation right now, but it's just like the only good thing about it is like, you know, they know like I'm over dramatic in a sense with my personality. Like I am sarcastic and I can be, you know, crazy, you know, and that's the good thing. Like in a sense of like, they know my personality. And that's why I guess that's why I keep going back there. Because I feel comfortable. And I don't have to put on the front. Because when I worked at another place, I felt like I wasn't myself at all. And there's a whole totally dynamic from where I worked last year. Last year. To where I am now. And I've been at where I'm working since 18. You know, 19. I was 19 when I first started working where I'm at now. And so, like, of course, with time, I'd matured and, you know, grow. And I had taken a couple of years off because of, you know, just with other health things that I had to deal with. And I wanted to get better. And this is the first year that I've been really healthy. You know, and I'm really proud of myself with that. And so I'm just like, you know, I'm not really hard on myself how I was last year because I was so hard on myself last year, especially because it was my first year back. And so like, I had so many different expectations of, you know, what is and what isn't and where I thought I would be, you know, I thought I would be this and I wasn't. And so like at a time, like last year, I thought I failed, but I mean, life happens, you know, I need to know like whatever I go into, I know that it is going to be hard in the beginning, but once I get back on my feet, you know, it's going to be a rock still in the boat. You know, there's going to be some other times too where, you know, somebody tried to say something that you did and you didn't do it, you know, type thing, you know, because they feel like they have authority or whatever, you know, and it's okay. You could prove that you didn't say what you meant to say, you know, and that's with anything, you know, it's career, you know, you're not going to always work by yourself. You're going to have other different personalities. It's just that you have to be able to work with it, you know, and not work against it. And, you know, me, old me, like younger me, 16, 17, I would overreact so quick. And I would respond so quick in an attitude way. And I was about to do that. And I was just like, no. Take a screenshot. You know, whatever you have to do. And take it in the hands of higher above you, you know, to say, hey, this is a situation, blah, 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 blah. You know, it didn't meant to be that way. And I didn't need a response in that tone. And this could be in any situation regarding whatever, you know, I'm not one to take work problems to social media like that. Even though be like, well, Elena, you're talking about work. Yeah, but I have not once said where I worked, who I'm working with, what my current job is, where my current job is. I'm not going on social media saying what is wrong, because that is what supervisors and managers are there for, and higher up HR. That is what they are there for situations where you don't seem like isn't correct. You take it to them. That is why they are there to be, so they can handle situations like that, you know? So, yeah. I mean, not everybody needs to know anything, you know, because I want to keep a job. I'm the type of person where if I like where I'm at, I want to keep good grace of where I am. So I could still continue like my relationship of working, and I could improve, or I could like go somewhere else and be in a different department. And, you know, because that's what I do like about where I'm at, is because like, if you're not liking where you at, you could always try something different. Like, you're not stuck in one department. There's other things, you know, to look forward to. You know, you're not really confined in an office space. You got room to grow and explore, you know. And so that's what I really do admire about where I'm working at, is that there's other opportunities elsewhere, you know. And so yeah. But, and I think that's why too I keep going back as well too, but it's whatever. I mean, I know I'm more comfortable with saying that I am working with NCL, but it's just because like I know eventually I'm going to be living on there, and I'm going to be there 24/7. That's different. Here, I'm home, it's close to home, and I don't feel like I should say where I am for just safety reasons, and just because of social media policies. I don't want to feel like I'm just, you don't need to know everything, right? And so, like, yeah. Other than that, I mean, a career is a journey, you know? And it's just of, like, finding what you don't like and finding what works. And, yeah, it's just things like that. So, other than that, like, comment, subscribe, I guess, and I'll see you soon. Bye.